today was the day the Browns made it official. They extended the contracts of both Kevin Stefanski, the head coach, and the general manager, Andrew Berry. The owners, Dee and Jimmy Haslam, issued a statement on the extensions. In part, incredibly fortunate to have Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry leading the Cleveland Browns since the day they were hired. Each has worked tirelessly to help the Browns win. Their leadership, collaborative approach, and ability to overcome obstacles bode well for the future of this franchise. Details as to the exact years on the extension have not come out yet. Kevin Stefanski talked today, and while the extensions weren't a surprise, Stefanski talked about continuing to reach higher.
I think for Andrew and I, it's a partnership where we take our job seriously. We really, we understand the jobs we have in this town. We understand our fans and what they want this team to be. So we're just going to focus on working, every waking minute to get this thing where we want it. But I just come back to this is for the organization to trust Andrew and I speaks to what we've been able to do, but we have plenty of work to do. Fortunately for us, we got some great people in this building, coaches, players, staff, so we'll just continue to work.
Does that stability, Kevin, change the trajectory of your plans, or do you just go on as if you're
nothing changes for us. We walk in this building when you're talking about Andrew and myself, and I think every coach, every player, you walk in here and you have a job to do, and we focus on that job.
With that, let's welcome in Jeff Lloyd from the Locked On Browns podcast. Jeff, not a surprise, and I'm curious as to the length. We haven't heard the length of the extensions yet. I'm sure we'll find that out in the next few days.
Yeah, well, when you get to something like this, it's usually a tug of war. Obviously, the team itself probably has a number in mind. And then, of course, as, the representatives for Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski. So whatever their number is, if you want to say hypothetically the number's 2, then you have Berry and Stefanski's representation saying, well, we want 4. Then you kind of get in that middle, tug of war where maybe you kind of meet in the middle at 3. Of course, if Jimmy, was aggressive enough to try to, meet his number year-wise, extension-wise, Jimmy, we certainly know after the Deshaun Watson contract that he is certainly not, willing to gamble monetarily. So if it costs more monetarily to maybe get the number closer to, what the length of the deals would be, where he would be more comfortable, certainly a possibility. But I think the most important thing is that it's just done. It's over, because we were getting to the point, well, we're not going to see much more of anybody really until late July. So if it wasn't going to get done while everybody was basically in town, the question is, when was it going to get done? You pound out both. You announce that both have been extended, at the same time. It is truly a partnership, basically a marriage between Andrew and Kevin. Both came here in 2020. When it first happened, we were all excited. And then all of a sudden, the world became a much different place a few short months later after both guys had gotten their job. But, what they did that first year, certainly, went through some obstacles in 21 and certainly 22, and then basically righted it all and had to make a major move in 23 to find a quarterback to come in and replace the franchise quarterback who was out for the season. And then you go on that magical run, you make it to the playoffs, and, it was obviously very, very well deserved. The Cleveland Browns are no longer the punchline of the NFL, and it took a lot of work to get them to that point. And Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski deserve a lot of credit for that.